Hello everyone, my name is Amy Paul and I'm the kindergarten, second and fourth grade ELAB teacher. I'm really looking forward to get to know all my new families this year. I'm sorry that there was a lot of technology issues during the open house, so if you were unable to connect to my meeting, I'll just kind of share this with you. This is kind of what we talked about. Let's see if I can share my screen. So welcome to ELAB. Just a few things about me. I went to Grand Valley to get my bachelor's degree. And then after that, there was no teaching job, so I ended up moving out to Colorado. And while I was there, I got my master's degree from Miami University. It was actually partnered with the Denver Zoo, so I got to take a lot of my classes at the zoo, which was pretty cool. While I was in Colorado, I was a gifted and talented teacher, and then after that, I was a fourth grade teacher at an environmental science school. I have taught fourth grade at CA Frost for 3 years, and this is my second year at Frost being the ELAB teacher. Some things I enjoy doing are hiking, camping, painting, and reading. If you're familiar at all with Camp Blodgett, my husband is the camp director there, so we get to spend a lot of our summer out on the lake shore, which is pretty nice. I have a first grader at Frost named Henry, and I have a 2-year-old daughter named Virginia. And then I also have a Boston Terrier named Pearl, and this is Jack. He's our bearded dragon. He's our class pet. So hopefully once we return to school, you guys will all get to meet Jack in person. So what is ELAB? If you're a new family to the school, this might be new for you. For the rest of you, you kind of already know what it's like, but we'll kind of go through what ELAB is at CA Frost. So in addition to just having your normal classroom subjects, in ELAB, they are exposed to the environment, and we tie in all the subject matters into the environment. It integrates environmental science with math, art, and writing. So here's a kindergarten class from last year. They collected different leaves and they're graphing them based on the colors. This is a picture of fourth grade last year. Fourth grade has a nature spot that they go to, and they do a lot of journaling there or different activities, making poems of their spot, and they kind of see how that spot has changed throughout the year. Kindergarten through fifth grade participate in ELAB twice a week for an hour. And during that time, students will spend most of their time outside using their senses to observe nature. They learn about plants, animals, and their habitats. And they explore changes in our environment. They develop an attachment to the land. This deer, Mr. Peterson and I saw at Blandford the other day, and it just was about 10 feet away from us for probably 5 minutes straight. I think all the animals miss all the kids from CA Frost. They all want you back. They're getting bored out there. ELAB equips students to be stewards for the earth and to develop their earth keeper skills as gardeners, foresters, and research biologists. This is a really cool thing that a fourth grader noticed last year. It was this pink ball, and when you popped it with a stick, all this pink ooze just started coming out, and it was really interesting. So it's fun to make new discoveries in ELAB. Some of the most important things are to be prepared. For ELAB, it's mostly outside, even if it's raining or snowing or really cold. So make sure you have your proper footwear, rain boots, winter boots, hats, gloves. We're going to be out there for a long time, so if you don't have gloves, you're going to be really cold. And then make sure you always have a rain jacket or a poncho. And it's always good to bring extra set of clothes for if your socks get wet. You don't want to spend the rest of your day with wet socks. So some ELAB expectations. Since we're using Blandford's land, we have to make sure that we're being sensitive towards nature and the other people visiting. So we want to make sure we're staying quiet. We're not yelling or talking really loud. If you had Mr. Peterson last year, you're familiar with our silent journey. We have that silent journey in my ELAB as well. We want to make sure we stay on the trails and follow the adult leader. If you see any trash and it's safe to pick up, it's always good to help keep our area clean. And then the hardest thing is to make sure you leave plants and animals where they're found. Sometimes you might discover something really cool and you want to take it home, but we got to remember we got to leave it there so that other classes can discover the same thing. Some other ELAB expectations are to ask questions. I really like coming up with activities based on the questions you guys have. And I'm not going to always tell you the answer. I want you to try to figure out the answers on your own. How could you make a little investigation to answer your wondering? You also need to make sure you're observing and telling us what you see. Listen and come prepared. So normally ELAB is a class where we have a lot of parents that come and volunteer and help out. With this year, we're not really sure what that's going to look like. I'm hoping that when we return to in-person learning, we will be able to have volunteers again, but I'm not quite sure about that. But for ELAB, if you are volunteering, make sure you show up on time, be ready to go out in any type of weather, and make sure you're helping all the students. And then we ask you just to keep your cell phone use to a minimum. So how is ELAB going to look during virtual learning? So it's going to be a little different than regular ELAB. Normally you would have ELAB twice a week for an hour each. For virtual learning, Fridays are going to be the ELAB day. So I will post videos of me out in Blandford or going for a hike or, looking at a pond and doing a little pond study. I will be posting those videos on your class's Seesaw page. I don't have a separate Seesaw page like music and gym or PE. I will just be posting my assignments on your classroom teacher's Seesaw. So that will be an asynchronous day of learning. So it will be a day where you can look at my video and then there'll be some type of activity that goes along with it. Once we return back to in-person learning, then we'll go back to kind of the traditional ELAB with 2 ELABs a week for an hour each. For the rest of the week, I'll be co-teaching with your classroom teachers during their science block. So one day a week, there'll be synchronous science, which means the teacher and I will be teaching live to your students. That's Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday during that 9 to 12 o'clock time. And then there will be another asynchronous science time where I will help to prepare different videos or interactives that the students will participate on their Seesaw account to help prepare them for what we're going to be learning about in science that week. So as Mr. Peterson always says, now let's get out into the great outdoors. If you have any questions, this is the best way to get in touch with me. You can either email me at my Grand Rapids Public School account, paula@grps.org, or you can just come to your class dojo page. For most of the classes, I'm a co-teacher on that dojo, so I will get messages if you send it to me. There's still 2 classes that I'm waiting for them to add me, so if you don't see that as an option yet, it's just because the classroom teacher hasn't assigned me yet as part of their dojo. So be patient, that should be fixed within a day or 2. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, and I can't wait to get to know you guys all, and I'll see you virtually, not next week, but the week after. We won't have any synchronous science except for 4th grade this coming week, but there'll be a Friday ELAB lesson. So have fun, and I can't wait to see you soon.